I'm Chris Silva. I'm the executive director of the Bardavon Opera House. Um, we own and operate the Bardavon UPAC in Kingston, and we manage and present the Hudson Valley Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra. Yeah, the pandemic shut all the theaters in the world down, including ours. So, so we haven't done a live show since March 13th. We had a show on March 13th, actually, but we didn't have it. Yeah, so it's completely changed everything that we do, and we've switched over pretty easily in a weird way to online programming, creating our own. And we've presented about 14 streams in the last year or so, and lots of arts and ed programs. We also pivoted because we work with a lot of kids in the public schools, and then we reach 20,000 kids. We reach more people, of course, online than we could ever dream. I mean, our Nutcracker, when we streamed that, because we had shot it, 1 million people watched it. I was like, what, you never saw the Nutcracker? I mean, it was free, but still, and everything we've streamed is free. So it's a long answer to your question, but that's how it's changed our lives. I mean, we're super lucky that we had a box office guy that we hired about a year ago from Chicago who's a filmmaker. And he had equipment, and then we bought him. It was like heaven for him because we bought him a bunch of, here, have some new things to play with because we need really good quality. So it's been real interesting. I'm looking forward to reopening though. I'm hoping August, September, we're really hoping. We're holding on, we'll see. If you follow the trail of the vaccines and the numbers that are being done and the numbers they say will get us to some immunity level that people will feel safe being together again. But ultimately, Cuomo will tell us what we will do, and we will obey. But we're looking at outdoors. We're looking at stuff outdoors. There's a lot of stuff being booked and announced all across the country outdoors. Big venues like Bethel Woods or River Rocks or whatever. So we'll see. The orchestra is a place where we are already, in the planned opening in the fall, instilling a lot of music that relates directly to what's happening in America now and in the world, and we're going to continue to do that. It's hard to book, an act, and they're going to do what they're going to do, but I'm hoping that the artists that we have coming now in the future will also have to be conscious of what's gone down and hopefully make that part of their act, so to speak. It's tricky, because artists are, come to have a good time with you. So if they get it all political, some people get, put off. We had Santana is Carlos Santana. Yeah. We had Santana this was a few years ago. He got real political, and it was great. But there were people in the back that were like, "Whoa!" And we, get out of here. So yeah, I mean, hopefully there is a bit of an awakening going on now while we're all shut down. That's a hope, and that whatever people do in their lives, it will be infused with what's happening, a greater awareness of it. I see that with young people for sure already. I mean, it's very different dialogue, so it's hopeful in that way, in the midst of all this, strangeness. I'm kind of hopeful. The more I look at history, the more it repeats itself, and you see this in our history of this country so clearly. These waves of to the right, to the left, to the constantly for 250 years. I mean, it's the way it is, and so we'll see how it rolls this time. We're rolling now, I think.
Okay. And do you think all the events that transpired in this past just over a year now, do you think that's permanently affected or changed theater?
Theater?
Or just live performances?
Yeah, well, I think, I did kind of answer. I mean, I think that, yes, I hope. I mean, it is for the stuff that we can control directly, that we can pick the repertoire and decide on what composers and what they're writing about. Definitely. We have to actually replace our conductor after 28 years. And so we are most definitely going to replace that white male man who was wonderful and we loved him with somebody of color or a woman, for sure. There's no question that's where we're going to go with it. Now, would I have thought that, I don't know, 10 years ago? I hope I would have, but maybe I wouldn't have, And so that's, for us, something we can really control that we are doing. And like I say, I hope other artists that tour the world also speak up. We're hoping to bring Patti Smith. You know who Patti Smith is? Mm. You do?
I actually think
everybody's supposed to know who Patti Smith is. Okay, if you don't, Google that when you get home. Anyway, we're hoping to bring her in the fall to do a talk and sing kind of combo platter. But she'll be speaking on stuff, I'm sure. David Sedaris is coming in the fall as well. Google him if you don't know him. He's freaking brilliant.
I love his work.
He will definitely speak on whatever's on his mind. Generally comedians tend to go right there, like Louis Black we've had many times, and he will just go directly to whatever's going on. And that's what people, I think, should start to do, because it's too long. How am I personally changing? I equate myself with my work so constantly, as many people do. So, I feel like I'm changing through my work in a sense. As an artist, that's what you do anyway, but so that's the most concrete thing. Other things are like taking it a little easier, in the sense of don't sweat the small stuff. Interpersonal relationships, let things go a little bit, because look what we've all dealt with, and as I said, historically there's this big circle we're all on, so just cruise on through with it. It's gonna change again, so try to be happy.
Right on. Be like water, right?
Be like water, Bruce.